Good morning. I'm Anusha. Our project title is Sentiment Analysis for the WhatsApp chat, and the topic is the sentiment analysis. Today we are going to discuss about the introduction, type of the sentiment analysis, importance of the sentiment analysis examples, data visualization in sentiment analysis, and finally the explanation about a project. So, what's basically a sentiment analysis? Sentiment analysis is the conceptual mining of text which identifies and extracts subjective information in source material and helping a business to understand the social sentiment of their brand, product, or service while monitoring the online conversations. However, analysis of social media streams is usually restricted to just basic sentiment analysis and count based metrics. Sentiment analysis is the most common text classification tool that analyzes an incoming message and tells whether the underlying sentiment is positive, negative, or neutral. So basically, the sentiment analysis is the process of detecting positive or negative sentiment in the text. It's often used by businesses to detect sentiment in social data, gauge brand reputation, and understand customers. Sentiment analysis is the classification task in the area of natural language processing, sometimes called the opinion mining. Sentiment analysis model transforms the opinion found in written language or speech data into actionable insights. There are various types of sentiment analysis. There are graded sentiment analysis, emotion detection, aspect based sentiment analysis, and the multilingual sentiment analysis. So, in the graded sentiment analysis, negative, neutral, positive can help you get a sense of how people are feeling about a specific product or service of yours. You can also focus on a specific keyword or topic that's buzzworthy within your industry or field. If you want to expand the spectrum to include different levels, that's where graded sentiment analysis comes into play. A great example of this is Google's 5-star review system. It's great when people take the time to write a basis for their star rating, but if you only have the stars to analyze, you can read them as follows. 5 stars, very positive, 4 stars, positive, 3 stars, neutral, 2 stars, negative, 1 star, very negative. This gives you a more precise classification when there is no specific text data to feed the machine. Next, there is the emotion detection. This type of sentiment analysis helps pinpoint emotion customers are expressing in their feedback from happy and satisfied to angry and frustrated. A site like The Athletic, for example, allows readers to comment on articles but also offers a simpler what did you think of a story feedback option. The format allows for some creativity. Tracking and inputting the responses gives you a look at what types of stories and which writers people connect with. You also learn the topic readers embrace or see as boring or contentious. Sometimes, though, emotional statements can be misleading when they come in text form. Let's say someone loves an article that's fresh and unique, and they write, "This article is sick, you're killing it." Sick and killing it in this context are actually positive sentiments, and the NLP must be trained to recognize them as such. Emotion detection, as you might expect, also plays a key role in emotional AI. Aspect based sentiment analysis. Speaking of training the NLP system, they can also be given the ability to determine whether the text data expresses an implicit positive or negative sentiment. For example, customers can often jump on company websites to initiate a service call with a chatbot. In order to determine to whom they should be directed, the bot will ask, "What can I help you with?" The customer will type something like, "The picture on my TV is too dark," or "I need to cancel my streaming subscription because there are too many bugs." These are apparent issues with the product or service that need to be flagged as negative and rectified in order to improve the user experience. Next is the multilingual sentiment analysis. Multilingual sentiment analysis refers to the process of gathering emotion insights from data that may be in several languages. This is usually the case when extracting sentiment from customer feedback data from a multi ethnic audience or from a different geographical locations with a homogeneous customer base. Automation is the key to operational and economic efficiency. But when machine translation does not pick up on cultural subtleties, contextual references, and colloquialisms expressed in comments and reviews, we have to ask if it really serves its purpose. Employing a solution that uses translations in its algorithms gives inaccurate results precisely for this reason. It cannot discover the nuisance of the language it's translating. Next is why is sentiment analysis important? Since humans express their thoughts and feelings more openly than ever before, sentiment analysis is fast becoming an essential tool to monitor and understand sentiment in all types of data. Automatically analyzing customer feedback, such as opinions in survey responses and social media conversations, allows brands to learn what makes customers happy or frustrated, or what they can tailor products and services to meet their customer needs. For example, using sentiment analysis to automatically analyze 4,000 plus open and on responses in your customer satisfaction surveys could help you discover why customers are happy or unhappy at each stage of the customer journey. Maybe you want to track brand sentiment so you can detect disgruntled customers immediately and respond as soon as possible. Maybe you want to compare sentiment from one quarter to the next to see if you need to take the action. Then you could dig deeper into your qualitative data to see why sentiment is falling or rising. So, there are benefits of the sentiment analysis, which includes the sorting data at scale. So, can you imagine manually sorting through thousands of tweets, customer support conversations, or surveys? There's just too much business data to process manually. Sentiment analysis helps business process huge amounts of unstructured data in an efficient and cost effective way. And next benefit is the real time analysis. Sentiment analysis can identify critical issues in real time. For example, is a PR crisis on social media escalating? Is an angry customer about to churn? Sentiment analysis model can help you immediately identify these kinds of situations so you can take action right away. And the third benefit is that the consistent criteria. So it's estimated that people only agree around 60 to 65% of the time when determining the sentiment of a particular text. Tagging text by a sentiment is highly subjective, influenced by personal experiences, thoughts, and benefits. By using a centralized sentiment analysis system, companies can apply the same criteria to all of the data, helping them improve accuracy and gain better insights. So there are many examples of the sentiment analysis. So to understand the goals and challenges of the sentiment analysis, here are some of the examples. So the basic examples are Netflix has the best selection of the films, Hulu has a great UI. I dislike the new crime series. I hate waiting for the next series to come out. Next, there are more challenging examples of the sentiment analysis. I do not dislike horror movies. Phrase with negation. Disliking horror movies is not uncommon. Negation, inverted word order. Sometimes I really hate the show. Adverbial modifies the sentiment. I love having to wait 2 months for the next series to come out. Sarcasm. The final episode was surprising with a terrible twist at the end. Negative term used in a positive way. The film was easy to watch, but I would not recommend it to my friends. So it is difficult to categorize. Next, the data visualization in the sentiment analysis. We have four different types of visualizations. So there are overall sentiment, sentiment over time, sentiment by rating, sentiment by topic. So in the overall analysis, sentiment scores are a metric for measuring customer sentiment. Scores can range from 0 to 100, where 100 is the most positive possible outcome and 0 is the least. Positive words are assigned A plus 1 scoring, while negative are assigned as A minus 1 scoring. And the sentiment over time. The plotting of sentiments against the date time is not as easy as it looks, as there are many different sentiments on the same day. So, the first step is to calculate the mean sentiment for each day and then grouping by date time. The sentiment is calculated over time. For example, chat at a particular time in the sentiment analysis of WhatsApp chat. Next is sentiment by rating. Sometimes sentiment based on frequency of rating. It means if a rating 3 out of 5 according to the graph produced, it will be analyzed as the work is average or movie is average. More people felt the movie was average. Next, the sentiment by topic. It means the visualization is produced based on most repeated topics and most interested topics. For example, if some news is generated and most people are interested in sports, second interested topic is politics, then the interest is categorized by the topic. Next, how does this sentiment analysis work? There are different algorithms you can use, implement in sentiment analysis models, depending on how much data you need to analyze and how accurate you need your model to be. We'll go over some of these in more detail below. Sentiment analysis algorithms falls into one of the three buckets: rule based. These systems automatically perform sentiment analysis based on set of manually crafted rules. Automatic systems rely on machine learning techniques to learn from data. Hybrid systems combine both rule based and automatic based approaches. So in the rule based approach, usually a rule based system uses a lot of human crafted rules to help identify subjectivity, polarity, or the subject of an opinion. These rules may include various NLP techniques developed in computational linguistics, such as stemming, tokenization, parts of speech, tagging, and passing. And then in the lexicon, that is a list of words and expressions. So the rule based systems are very neat since they don't take into account how words are combined in a sequence. Of course, more advanced processing techniques can be used and new rules added to the systems, new expressions, and vocabulary. However, adding new rules may affect previous results, and the whole system can get very complex. Since rule based systems often require fine tuning and maintenance, they'll also need some regular investments. Next is the automatic approach. In the automatic methods, contrary to the rule based systems, don't rely on manually crafted rules but on machine learning techniques. A sentiment analysis is usually modeled as a classification problem whereby a classifier is fed a text and returns a category, example positive, negative, or neutral. Next, that is the feature extraction from the text. The first step in a machine learning text classifier is to transform the text extraction or uh, text vectorization, and the classical approach has been bag of words or bag of n-grams with their frequency. More recently, new feature extractions techniques have been applied based on word embeddings, also known as word vectors. This kind of representation makes it possible for words with similar meaning to have similar representation, which can also improve the performance of classifiers. So we have the classification algorithms here like naive Bayes, linear regression, support vector machines, and the deep learning. In the hybrid approaches, hybrid systems combines the desirable elements of rule-based and automatic techniques into one system. One huge benefit of this system is that results are often more accurate. So next is about a project. So the most efficient used method of communication in recent times application is the WhatsApp. So the WhatsApp chats consist of various kinds of conversations held among various people. This chat consists of various topics. The most important thing for a machine learning models is to provide the right learning experience, which is indirectly affected by the data that we provide to the model. So this project aims to provide in-depth analysis of this data, which is provided by WhatsApp. The classification of tokenized conversations will be achieved by training a name-based classification model or the training set with some pre-categorized chat style conversations. So we will export the data from the chat and tokenize into tokens. The classification of tokenized conversations will be achieved by training a naive-based classification model. A trained model can be tested by using a test set or even by a user input. Our model is trained in a way that can classify any tokenized sentence into different categories like greetings, statements, emotions, questions. So we all use emojis, everyone, not only WhatsApp, but also with any other chatting platform. Now let's see what emojis are being used in most of the conversations. We analyze sentiment against time, frequency of chats using PyTorch, message density by time, day of the week, and frequency of the emojis. Thank you. So the algorithm we use is the naive-based classification, and the methodology is the Seaborn, Matplot, PyTorch, and predictive analysis library, Python map function, and the kernel distribution estimation plot. Thank you.